Okay, I'm going to take just a few minutes to show you how I use Flickr and the Wikimedia Commons website in order to source graphics that I use in Creative Commons projects. So I'm already logged in. It's very simple to get an account here with Flickr, especially if you already have a Yahoo account, because Yahoo now owns the company. I've already logged in, and you can see some basic things here, my photo stream, some communication between me and other users. But just to show you how to get Creative Commons materials very quickly and easily, just do a search. The default here is to search everyone's uploads. That's a good choice because generally speaking, unless you already know of a photographer who has, let's say, 3,000 photographs and they're all Creative Commons, you don't necessarily want to drill down and only search one person's group of photographs. So the default is to search everybody's uploads, and as you can see, there's a lot of beautiful photographs here. I'm going to click on Advanced Search though, and I'm going to scroll down to the bottom, and I'm going to limit it to Creative Commons licensed content. I'm going to also select content to modify, adapt, or build upon, because for the most part I generally use these images in videos, and sometimes I use them in presentations just like this one. Then I repeat the search, and the result is fewer photographs, but now I know that all of these have Creative Commons licenses on them. So I'm just going to select one at this point, a flowering crabapple tree in Michigan. Over here on the right hand side you can see the license. If you roll over it, you will see that it says attribution and non-commercial and some rights reserved. Now if you actually click on the license in Flickr, it will bring up a more detailed licensing agreement, and you may notice, for instance, that they may say 1.0 or 2.0. That really has to do with when the license was first put into play by that user. And again, it lets you know exactly what you can and can't do. You can share this, you can remix it. You have to provide attribution to the original creator, and you can't use it for commercial purposes. Okay? Going back again, the next thing that I often do is if I think I'm going to use it, I click Favorite. That enables me to keep it in my list of favorites here. All of these are photographs that, for whatever reason, I favorited, either because I was going to use them or just because I thought they were beautiful. Now clicking back again, if I reload the page, you'll see that that pink star has been activated. It is a favorite. You have a couple of actions available here. You can add it to a gallery. If you're working with another person, as I frequently do, I often work with faculty members and other subject matter experts. If we need to discuss the kind of images that we're using, I can put them in a gallery and we can take a look at each one individually and discuss whether it's really appropriate for the project. Flickr's default, I believe, is about 10 photographs per gallery, but you can make unlimited numbers, and you don't have to have possession yourself of that photograph in order to add it to a gallery. You can add other people's works, in other words. Now, the other thing that I'll do is I clicked on it, and it allows me to put it over a black screen to kind of get a sense of what it would look like then. Just taking a little while here to load. Very long time to load. Well, I'm going to go ahead and click on View All Sizes. And here you can see the different sizes that are available that have already been automatically generated by Flickr for your use. Again, it reiterates the license, some rights reserved. You see the name of the creative person. You can download the default large size, but you can also click any of these other ones. For instance, since I often use it in video, I will click 640 by 480 because that's a format I often work in. But you can even download a square. And you would very easily save the image as, and there it is. Now, one thing that I will do in order to make things easier for myself, because I know I have to give credit to people at the end of whatever piece I'm working on, I will often save a graphic using an underscore and then the name of the person who did it, and perhaps a note. So here I might say Crabapple Martin Labar. That way it's a lot easier to remember who I need to attribute my work to. Now, another really neat thing about Flickr is that depending on the person, they may or may not allow you and other users to tag their work and make notes. Now, Flickr not only has Creative Commons materials, it has several items that they call the Commons. These are collections from various museums and other archives that are all, generally speaking, in the public domain. A couple of them may be state archives where they may reserve the right for whatever reason to have commercial purposes for the work, but they will allow educators, for instance, to download the work. And if I go to Home and then Explore, you'll see they have a page just for Creative Commons, which provides a little bit more information, and also one about the Commons. So for instance, here is Oregon State University. A beautiful, beautiful picture. Now you have the option to search within the Commons alone. And here I can add a tag. I can say Notre Dame. And you see I did a right click and it showed me what sizes are available, and it reiterated that there's no known copyright restrictions. But one very nice thing is that depending again on the user, you may be able to tag directly on here and leave a note. So for instance, people often do that with pictures of individuals from the 19th century. You know, they may comment on clothing, etc. So that's an interesting kind of project that you can do with your students if you have K-12 students. So I'm going to move from Flickr now over to Wikimedia Commons. Now, the Wikimedia Foundation does own Wikimedia Commons and Wikipedia, and not everybody's favorite tool, but Wikimedia Commons is extremely valuable. A trick and rule of thumb is that any time that you look at a page in Wikipedia, if you click on the graphic there, you'll find that it traces back to this website, Wikimedia Commons. All of the media files here are used somewhere in the wiki world, or are available to anybody in the wiki world should they create a new page or document. So if I do the same search, I could do flower, and I could do, in fact, crabapple. All of these pictures are also available. And here you'll see you have the option to download different sizes, different pixels, different resolution, and it provides a lot of information here on the attribution. And you'll also find whether this person decided to use a GNU license or whether they have a Creative Commons license This person apparently licensed it multiple times through different generations of Creative Commons licensing schemes. They even provide some information about where they took the picture. So there's a lot of really interesting stuff that you can find here. And again, my rule of thumb is to go there and save it with the person's name. Now, the one thing that's a little unwieldy about Wikimedia Commons is if you're looking for a music file or sound file, there's actually quite a bit here, but it's not necessarily easy to find. If I do Shakespeare, I'm going to find an awful lot of pictures here. But although I happen to know, for instance, that somebody has put Mark Antony's famous Friends, Romans, Countrymen speech, it's very difficult to drill down and actually find it. So what I will often do is, if I'm looking for a sound file, I will click on Category Sound, and I will just sort of drill down and experiment until I found what I'm looking for. The thing about Wikipedia that is so controversial is that anybody can edit it, anybody can put whatever they want in there. Well, as a result, we have a similar problem with Wikimedia Commons. So if you're looking for images, it's pretty straightforward. But if you're looking for sound, audio, and even video, it's a little more idiosyncratic as far as where people have decided to put the media.